Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. Today we're going to once again talk about censorship, but this time we're going to focus on the ironic consequences that stem from excessive and unnecessary censorship in media, in this case anime. And it's easy to just say, censorship bad, which in the vast majority of cases, it is bad, but I don't think it's too controversial to say that in some limited circumstances, censorship or aspects of it are understandable, like rating systems or age requirement warnings before entering adult spaces. But as you can see, a lot of these are perimeter types of safeguards, sort of like a person checking for IDs at the entrance of a bar. While some people will sneak their way in, at least there's some clear indication of the intended crowd expected at that location. This sentiment is very reminiscent to people entering adult spaces, like certain websites, communities, movies, TV shows, and alike. Once the warning has been established, honestly, that's where the vast majority of censorship should end. From that point on, content should never cater to unintended audiences. And when censorship of these spaces creeps in, it can have an unintended effect of making semi-raunchy content look much lewder than it actually is, much like the topic of today's video. So once again, we're going to be talking about My Dress Up Darling's anime, and yes, I've made about 5 videos in the past week about this anime, but just know, there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop me in my simping of Maureen, so just accept it. But all jokes aside, there has already been many notable complaints on social media about this anime, all of which surrounding what they believe is the over-sexualization of Best Girl Maureen. Well, it appears that some overseas distributors were listening because the South Korean broadcast of this anime features extremely high levels of censorship, particularly in the second episode. Now, for those that don't know, the second and instant legend status of the second episode of My Dress Up Darling features an extended scene where the MC is providing measurements of a bikini-clad extra jiggly Maureen. The South Korean broadcast decided to censor Maureen's outfit, but oddly enough, only censoring the lower half of her swimsuit, because apparently her gravity-defying jiggling cleavage is fine, but the lower half of her bikini is too far. But as you can see, the irony of this excessive censorship is that it actually looks even more lewd than it originally was without the censors. Based on some of these screenshots, without context of the original version, you would actually think her bottom half was naked, making these scenes even raunchier than they already were. Now, this whole scenario reminds me a lot of my childhood. Growing up, I wouldn't say my parents were too strict, but they definitely instilled a lot of discipline on me regarding my behavior and character. However, despite these expectations, my parents were 100% unfiltered when it came to the media I consumed. I mean, when I was 8 or 9 years old, they were already buying me uncensored DVDs of shows like South Park, Drawn Together, or Family Guy. And when the majority of my exposure to curse words up until that point featured bleeped out versions from television, hearing the uncensored versions of these words took away their taboo and strength. They weren't a big deal to me anymore after they were exposed. Self-indulgent, I know, but I believe getting these inevitable things out of my system at a young age helped me mature in a responsible way. The censors featured in this release of My Dress Up Darling work to only enhance the sexual themes, making her bikini something that is more sexual than it already was. And in a space like this anime that clearly wasn't meant for an audience not mature enough to handle the bottom half of her bikini, this whole thing just seems unneeded and silly. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this chat about censorship. Make sure to subscribe for more daily videos, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.